Hi, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade leader. We're getting ready for January 21st. So we've been talking about commitment this month. And if you're like me, at this point in January, you probably forgot about the New Year's resolution, but that's okay because we are going to continue to talk about ways that we can grow in our relationship with Christ. And who doesn't need that? I know I need that on a daily basis. I need to be reminded that that needs to be my number one priority, and that all the other things in life will fall into place once I have put God as my firm foundation and I build off of that. Your social activity is just a silly activity where the kids are supposed to mutter something into their hand and everybody else is supposed to try to guess what it is they're saying. At this point in the month, if you wanted to vary that a little bit and make that where they have to recite something back to you, maybe your memory verse, or maybe it's a motto, or something that you think has to do with discipline, that would be okay with me. Really, this activity is built so that you can build relationships with kids, so that when it is time to jump into your small group time, you're not jumping in cold turkey and trying to build relationships off of only being together for 10 minutes. This is the time where you build that time with them, because fun over time equals commitment, and kids are growing and learning to respond to you as their leader because they've had fun things to respond to you about before they've had to give you their undivided attention. Okay? So the whole social activity, it's not a useless activity at all. It is there to help you build that relationship with the kid. I always give you extra things at your table so that you if you are not able to make this one work, or it feels confusing to you, you can always use something else. But I really, really, really encourage you guys, come in the room, get engaged with the kids early, because they need that time, you need that time, so that you can build the small group time later. Then we'll do large group. Today our Bible story is Who Do You Say I Am? And I don't know a person who hasn't struggled with that at some point in their life of having to defend to anyone, who do you really say that God is? Who is this God to you? Who is Jesus to you? And so Jesus, in this part of Matthew, turns back to the disciples, and he's heard all of these other people. This is what everybody else says I am, but who do you say I am? And Peter comes back and tells him, you are the Son of God, the Messiah. And so we're gonna discuss that with kids. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what we want kids to understand is, because they are able to define who God is for them, then they are able to share that with other people. When I can talk about God in my everyday life, when it becomes an everyday conversation in my life, whether I'm at home, whether I'm out shopping, whether I'm out working, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm out doing PTO, whatever I am doing, all of those things, if God becomes a part of the conversation in every setting I'm in, then it makes it really hard for somebody else to not believe in, to understand where I stand and what I believe in. And so that's where we are with kids. We want kids to get that. We believe that's a major growth step for every kid in their development. I believe that if we can graduate kids from 5th grade with that understanding and a few other faith skills, then they will be able to succeed very well in junior high and high school, because we have set that foundation for them in knowing what the church is and what the church does. And because you are the church, this is what happens. Okay, so your small group activity today, you're going to have a large piece of butcher paper. And you're going to draw a giant stick figure on it. And then you're going to make a list of people that your kids could talk to about God. And so write that list of people on one side. It could be family, it can be friends, it could be teammates, it could be small group members, it could be a teacher at school, it could be a friend on the ball field. And think of all the places that the kids go. Are there people there that you could talk to about God? And then you'll have a stack of these speech bubbles, and what you'll do is ask kids to grab a stack of those, and what are some things that they could say to those people, and you're going to post them all around your stick figure person, and then talk about it. Talk about who could you say this comment to and why, and is there anyone you wouldn't be comfortable making this comment to, why or why not, and can anyone share a real life example of when he may have said something like this to someone and what happened. Alright, so you and I both know that there's going to be those few kids that we can predict what their answer is going to be in one of these speech bubbles. Let them write it anyway, because they're gonna write it and they want to write it, and so let them write it anyway. Let them post it on the poster anyway, and bring it up as a part of the discussion. They brought it into the discussion. They wanted the attention from that, so have a real conversation about it. Is that thing that they thought was so important to share with everybody, is that something that you want people to understand in knowing the character of God? And so you can always turn it back to that. Did that statement help somebody else understand the character of God more? And if it didn't, then it's maybe not something that we need to ever share again. Okay? Or however you want to set that boundary. In my group, it would be ever again. Realizing that there's a few that you'll hear it from them real regularly anyway. For Bible memory verse activity, you have pipe cleaners today. With those pipe cleaners, kids are supposed to form something out of the pipe cleaners to help remind them of what they're learning and how they're growing. You may want to just send that home with them, and that could be a take-home activity. I really, really encourage you to do the stick figure activity with the speech bubbles today. It is important for kids this age to have to think outside of the box, and for us to not just tell them all the answers that they need to hear. They need the opportunity to manipulate it, to think through it all, and to use those brain cells on both sides. And every activity that we are using lately is encouraging kids to that is why that activity is written, is because it is making them use their whole brain. And when they are using their whole brain, we know that all of that information is sinking in. They may not be able to recall it right away, but it is sinking in a different place than it would if we just told them. If we just stand on the stage and tell them, it's not going to help it sink in. We need for them to do these activities, and that's the whole purpose in writing these activities for you guys, spending extra time preparing these activities, is because it is helping kids learn at their level. And I have it on good word from a few other kids. They enjoy doing the activities. So we can do one activity a week. Then you'll pray together, and that will be it for the week. I appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for what you do. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.